Hello and welcome to another video here on Growing with the Roses. I am Abby Rose and today I am joined with my husband, Dan and Rose. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not new, thank you for continuing to watch and grow with us. Today we want to talk about a mistake we made. So we're building our barn and we had an accident that could have been pretty costly. Someone could have gotten really badly hurt. And we wanted to share this with you so that you can, learn our lessons with us. So,
First lesson, don't have two dogs. Have three.
Come here, Cotton.
That's going to be cut out.
We can cut that out if we want to. Okay, we are back. So, Dan, I was wanting you to join me because I think you can explain the tools we used a little bit better. And so tell us what happened initially.
Okay, so the initial tool we used or what the situation was?
Oh, sorry, the initial tool we used.
Okay, so the initial tool we used was a design that my papa had. We have his Kubota tractor. It's a 65 horse. And its bucket does not raise up, I think, beyond probably 14, 15 feet. So we were needing to actually get the bucket raised more like 18 feet in order to raise the trusses to the point where we wanted to. So he has designed a attachment to the front of his bell spike. It's two metal pipes that slide into the bell spike, have some crossing, and then a wire attachment to hold it up. So kind of a rigged design that we've used on other applications in the past. We've had success with it, so we felt comfortable that it could actually accomplish the job. I think the biggest reason was just being cost prohibitive, trying to reduce cost and not try to spend things on a rending machine or things of that nature. We're also on a homestead, so every little penny counts. But that really is the design of the piece of equipment and why we did it.
All right, and so what was the limitations? Like, why did that not end up working?
I'd say the biggest limitation was the fact that the hydraulics on the machine of a tractor are a lot more jumpy. I think is probably the right term. When you utilize the hydraulics on a tractor, you can just barely touch the hydraulics and the machine will act pretty erratically, depending on which way you're wanting it to move. So that would be, I'd say, the biggest thing, because you can see in the video that when the accident does happen, we're actually trying to lower the truss back down and the machine kind of shakes, and that's what causes it to fall over. So that would be one of the reasons, or one of the biggest things that prevented us from being successful. I would say the other is just the fact that we couldn't successfully hold the truss in place without having to really have a lot of manpower on the corners holding it, which is something that is obviously, as you're trying to move and walk, holding something upright is tough. And then the last thing is just the height that the machine could actually reach.
Yeah.
When you're ready, we're going to lift straight up. Lift. All right, I've got a point. No, put it down, Dad. Hey, we're never going to get it out. We're never going to get it out wide enough. I can't get it out wide enough. Down. Hold on. Come back down. He's coming down. He's coming down.
So how did the accident happen? Or explain kind of what we are seeing in the video.
Yeah, so I think to kind of take it back to the very beginning of the video, I don't know if we're going to show this, but initially we did actually have a truss that we got up. and you can kind of see in that that it's really bending and causing a stress on the truss and not really allowing it to stand upright. So we actually laid a truss down, and then we tried another truss. And in the video, you can see that we're actually to a point where the truss is upright, and we just can't physically lift it any higher. The way we designed our barn is we drove posts in the ground, we welded some plates to set the truss on, and you can see Cohen is trying to physically lift the truss up onto the plate. And at that point, we couldn't lift it, so we were all at a point where we needed to put it back down, and that's where we had the accident and the situation where the thing came falling down.
So we used chicken house trusses, and that's why we had to lift them up a little higher. They weren't quite tall enough. We wanted our barn to have a lot of hay in it, and also we wanted to put our RV in it, and so height was really important to us. So we wanted that extra 4 feet.
Yep, we got to get it up in the air.
Yeah. So we'll show the clip of the accident happening. It explained a little bit, kind of like why it was so dangerous for him, since we got out of the way really easily.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of my favorite sayings. My dad always said, clean job site, safe job site. If you have a lot of things that are laying around, a lot of things that are in people's way, it can create a hazardous situation. You can see that Abby and I are able to shift and move out of the way of that truss pretty easily, but then Cohen gets caught up on the string line and is actually tripping backwards as he's trying to get out of the way, right? So that's one of the things that we also learn. You need to make sure before you're doing those types of jobs that you have things cleaned up, out of the way. In this situation, we really weren't per se had a dirty job site. We just had to use the string line. All in all, it goes back to you just really assess the situation, ensure that you have the correct equipment, because ultimately that could create the catastrophe that we possibly could have had.
Yeah, and I guess we could have picked up the string line since the posts were driven, right? Or were we still using it?
We were using it in order to try to keep the posts as well.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I am about to officially show you the video of the accident. I did want to clarify one thing. Dana and I both made mention to the fact that I had gotten out of the way of the truss while it was falling, and that's not really accurate. I realized that I actually had already stepped out. Memories are not always very accurate. I thought I totally could remember jumping out of the way with Dannon, but actually he had already told me to back up as they were lowering it, because we kind of could see it was dangerous. And so I was already out of the way. More equipment. We did after that happened, we did say, okay, no more. We're not using this anymore. The dangers were made obvious, and we had 11 trusses to lift up. So even if we could have gotten one up, it was too dangerous. Yeah. We weren't going to try to do it 11 times. So what did we do differently?
Yeah, so that's where we just bit the bullet and spent a little bit of money, obviously trying to save costs all the time, but they do have rental equipment places pretty frequently throughout the United States, definitely in Southwest Missouri. We have one within about 25 miles down the road. We called them up. They had a telehandler available, a little bit about a telehandler, a lot more weight on the base, and what that allows is it actually has a boom that extends. And it can extend up to 19 feet, which is really that extra length that we needed. And the other kind of benefits of a telehandler are the hydraulic controls, much more smooth, has auto leveling of the bucket, things that just ultimately create a much more safe environment for the individuals who are actually working around it. So Telehandler, way to go. I wish I could buy one on the farm. That's the next purchase. Booyah.
And it wasn't that much. We got it all done in pretty much a day. I mean, we did have to, they were coming the next day, and so we had to get up a little early and get it done before 9. But we only had to rent it for a day. And how much did we end up spending?
I think it was $400. They were nice, and they gave us a deal because we rented over the weekend. So we were able to use it Saturday, Sunday, and a little bit on Monday.
Oh, did we use it 2 days?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Took us a little bit longer than we expected to put the trusses up. A lot of welding. Dad had to do a lot of climbing and put things up.
Yes. And we will show a full video of building the barn. That will be coming later on. We are finishing the metal right now, and we wanted to finish product before we post that video. But we wanted to go ahead and sit down and talk about this mistake, just to, give you the reminder that spending the little bit of extra money, it is worth it. The people on the job site are obviously your most valuable assets, and you got to keep them safe, and having the right machine can do that. And also, this is just a reminder that it's okay to make mistakes. A lot of times it's nice to show the video of it getting done and cutting out the parts where you're having to redo things, or people are getting hurt or messing up. Like, it's important to show that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all learn from mistakes. They say, one of the sayings I love is an expert in a field is somebody that's failed in every aspect of that field. You learn from your mistakes. It's really important that you try to be cost prohibitive. You don't want to spend money where you don't need to. But at the end of the day, you want to ensure that people are safe and you have the right equipment to do the job. I think that's what, your biggest focus here, and ensuring that you don't have to have a friend dive out of the way of a truss, because that's kind of tough.
It is. He did come back. Goyen is amazing. He did come back.
By far the best friend anybody ever has. I might be partial, but he's pretty good.
Yes. So thank you for joining us today, and stick around to see the entire barn get built.
Yeah, look at that. Rose country.
Rose country.